Today is the day that we as Christians celebrate and is known to be called Good Friday. We celebrate this day because today is the start of something that has been given to all mankind who choose to believe in Jesus Christ. Today is the start of a chain of events that gives us all grace. Grace is another word for mercy, meaning an individual did not get what they deserved as a punishment for what they did wrong. We as people, when we are born into this world, we are put into the care of someone who trains us up, teaches us and assists us how to walk, talk, teaches us responsibilities and the way of the world. Some things we are pre-programmed with. We can't control who our mom is, dad is, where we are born, what family we are born into, and how we are raised. We are pre-programmed with free will. Once we learn how to walk, talk, live, and interact in this world, we have the free will to make whatever decisions we want to make. Sometimes we do it because it is our nature. It's pre-programmed. Our parents' nature and DNA is passed down to us, and regardless of our free will, we still end up making some of the same mistakes or decisions our parents made. When God first built the world, he made Adam and Eve. If you read the book of Genesis, he gave them specific instructions not to eat from a certain tree. With free will and not knowing the consequences behind their actions, they still chose to eat from that tree. Although knowing that God told them not to, that curiosity and free will superseded what God's instructions were, and they still ate from the tree. As I said earlier, we are pre-programmed. Eating from that tree marks the start of an action that we have known to all call sin. The nature of sin has been given to all mankind as a part of our nature, our behavior, our DNA. We pre-program. We as people, we want to believe that we don't do nothing wrong and it's always everybody else doing us wrong, although we are pre-programmed to sin. The Bible has been written to serve as an instruction manual on how to live life. The commandments God gave were specific instructions on how to live life. The Bible serves as a way for us to understand what we do wrong. It puts a mirror in front of us and shows us our flaws. Some of us can read the Bible 10,000 times and still only see what people do to us, but not what we do to people. It's so hard for us to apologize because we try to find ways to justify our actions because we feel like we did nothing wrong.
All right.
Pastor Holly said something many years ago that always stuck with me because it's so true. Right after we have done something wrong, we know we had no business doing, we say to ourselves, why did I do that? It is only one person that has walked this earth that has been completely free from sin. Jesus Christ is his name. During his 33 years on earth, he not only was free from sin, he healed the sick, raised the dead, and turned water into wine. Christ was given all power because he dedicated his life to God, the Father, the one who gives life. He puts things in perspective for those who feel as though they don't do nothing wrong. Christ shows us how to truly love. He demonstrated how to hug the unhuggable, approach the unapproachable. And when it comes to doing wrong, he says, he knows no sin, let them cast the first stone. Leading up to his last days on earth, he preached a Sermon on the Mount called Sermon on the Mount. In this sermon, he speaks about how we as people can point out the mote in thy brother's eye, but behold, the whole beam is in thy own eye.
Right.
Basically saying, be careful when you judge people. That same judgment will fall upon you at some point. He dedicated his life to loving all mankind in spite of our sinful ways. You think about that the next time you want to judge someone. Ask yourself, how many people have you healed? How many people have you raised from the dead?
All right.
In our minds, we have the right to think what we want to think, but that does not make it true. For us to truly know ourselves, we have to go through Christ. Believe on Christ. In Christ's last days, he knew he would be betrayed, and in spite of, he still loved that individual.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are you willing to forgive when you know they are going to betray you?
Mm-hmm.
How many people are you still going to continue to love, although you know they are going to love, they're not going to love you back?
Right.
Our sinful ways blinds us. We have to stop thinking that we don't do nothing wrong. We have to accept sin as a part of our nature. We have to learn to forgive when others do us wrong. Why? Because that's what Christ told us to do.
Mm.
On the evening that he was betrayed, nailed to a cross and spit on, he asked God, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Yes.
He wasn't just talking about the individuals who was carrying out the hateful actions. He was talking about all mankind today.
Yes. Yes.
You and I. You think about what Christ said the next time you feel betrayed.
Mm.
You wasn't always so holy and sanctified. You think about what Christ did when things is not going your way.
Yes.
Just as Christ forgave, you are too also. Just as Christ loved, you are too also.
Yes.
Christ knows that the world has influenced our behavior. The behavior that made one of his own disciples betray him. The behavior that caused him to be on trial for doing absolutely nothing wrong by people who were jealous, envious, and filled with hatred.
Yes.
The behavior that caused the Israelites to keep falling back into sin in spite of God's faithfulness towards them.
Yes.
On this day, 2021 years ago, Jesus was hung on the cross and betrayed by one of his very own. In spite of his wrongful charges and all he done for mankind, his first words were, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." You remember that the next time you want to act like you're so innocent and haven't done nothing wrong.
Yes.
Jesus is the only perfect person. While hanging on the cross, he was asking for forgiveness for you and I.
Yes.
We are the ones that he was speaking about when he said they know not what they do.
Ah.
We must learn to forgive just as he has forgave us.
Yes. 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 Amen. Amen.